welcome back to Best of Wisconsin Homes. I'm Josh with Josh Lavick and Associates, and I'm here with Michael today at the Dane County Regional Airport here in Madison. So thanks for being on the show today, and why don't you tell our viewers a little bit more about the airport and what makes it unique here.
Absolutely, and thank you for having me. Again, my name is Michael Riechers. We're at Dane County Regional Airport today. It's the South Central Wisconsin Airport. We're up to 16, 17 nonstop destinations. During the pandemic, we got down to about 11 nonstop destinations, but before that we had 24, which is a really, really good number for an airport our size. Made us a kind of susceptible to when the airport market shrunk a little bit during the pandemic. We lost a lot of those nonstop routes, but we're working on getting those back right now.
Got it, that makes sense. What are some of the more popular nonstop destinations?
Well, right now, as we're getting into winter, everyone wants to go to the warm weather destinations. So our Florida destinations are really popular. Phoenix is really popular. But we're working on getting a lot of the business destinations back. So we noticed that a lot of the destinations that we lost during the pandemic were business oriented. The business community, of course, went to Zoom and Microsoft Teams for their meetings. They weren't traveling as much. So we're trying to get those business destinations back so that the business traveler can start traveling again.
Absolutely.
That's New York and DC, LA, San Francisco, Seattle, that kind of thing.
For sure, got it. Well, in this facility here, I know every time I've flown out of the airport here, I'm always impressed by just the overall, look and feel of it. It's, tell me more about the structure and when it was maybe built or remodeled.
Yeah, absolutely. Kind of so we just celebrated our 80th anniversary a couple years ago, and that's as a commercial airport. Of course, it was a military airport before that. Right now we have 13 gates, but we just started a $85 million expansion project, expanding the south end of the terminal. So we're actually going to demolish the 3 southern gates and then add on 6 gates to the end. So we are growing as an airport. What we noticed in 2019 is that we were physically running out of space. That's how fast we were growing. And of course, not knowing the pandemic was in front of us, we were anticipating physically running out of space in about 2 to 3 years. So we went forward with this expansion project. It's slated to be completed in 2023. And that's going to give us the ability to have more aircraft, more flights, bigger aircraft, which means lower ticket fares, which of course everybody likes.
Sure.
And that's going to allow us to continue to grow well into the future.
Absolutely. And this, it almost feels like a Frank Lloyd Wright kind of style and like the feel of everything. Is that by design and intention? Is that true?
Yeah, definitely intentional. Frank Lloyd Wright being, of course, a Wisconsin name, a Wisconsin tradition, if you will, for design.
Yeah.
We really we lean into that here. You can see everything is sort of mid-century modern, Frank Lloyd Wright inspired.
Yeah.
And that's going to be throughout the terminal expansion as well. It's something that we really pride ourselves on, is the aesthetic beauty of our facility.
Yeah.
And it's a differentiator. If you go to some of our bigger competitors in different markets, it's more industrial, it's more utilitarian, and that's completely understandable given how many people pass through their facility. We're a smaller airport, and we know that. We want it to be kind of a smaller, cozier hometown feel. So our ceilings are a little bit lower. It's just a cozier spot. But of course, again, after the expansion, we'll have 16 gates here. So we really can do a lot of volume, a lot of flights out of here.
Sure. Yeah, and you got obviously a lot of great little vendors here in the middle and places to, load up on your Wisconsin gear before you grab a flight somewhere. And
absolutely. We pride ourselves, of course, on Wisconsin beer and cheese and sausages. You can load them up right here at the airport after security. You can throw them on your carry-on. When the pub is open, it's open 7 days a week after 11. You can take your favorite beer all the way to the gate.
Nice.
While you wait for your flight. It's a very enjoyable way to wait for your flight.
Absolutely.
And like I said, all of your Wisconsin favorites right here at the airport. You can take them wherever you're going.
Very cool. Well, what about anything else? Maybe that maybe somebody that's never flown out of this airport before, or somebody that's new to the Madison area. Anything else that you might say to them to kind of highlight, or something to keep in mind?
Well, one thing we want passengers to know, whether you've been traveling your whole adult life or if it's your very first trip, this is a safe process. Of course, over the last year with the pandemic, year and a half with the pandemic, there's a lot of uncertainty about things that you're usually accustomed to.
Sure.
Traveling is safe. We revamped all of our cleaning processes. We've brought in a bunch of new equipment to sterilize the terminal every day and multiple times throughout the day.
Sure.
We have free masks at many of our entrances. We have hand sanitizer throughout the terminal. So when you're here, it's a safe and clean process, and the airlines themselves are doing all kinds of cleaning processes in the airplane. So it's a true safe and efficient process to come travel, so there shouldn't be any fear.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's definitely a concern with things like that with travel these days. But hey, Michael, I really appreciate you sharing a little bit more about the airport and our viewers today.
Sure.
So you're watching Best of Wisconsin Homes Community Spotlight, and I'm Josh with Josh Lavick and Associates.